Hi, Celeste. Thank you so much for being here, talking to me.
Of course.
We're so excited, of course, for your book, Challenge Accepted, which is coming out in the U.S. soon.
It's very exciting.
Yeah.
It's very exciting for me.
Yeah. So you've been through this once in Australia and the UK. Does it feel different?
It does. I didn't do a ton of press in Australia for it. I just think because it's smaller. But you guys over here are good with your press. So, yeah. And
we like a good song and dance.
Yeah, it's great. I know I'm up for it. And you guys do really good lighting. So I'm fine.
Great. That's really what's the most important thing, the lighting.
Yeah.
So obviously on Instagram, you got your big push there from doing parodies of lifestyle celebrity photos, a lot of times in the fashion world. And now the fashion world has really embraced you. Tell me a little bit about why you think they have embraced you and what that feels like.
I think they get the joke. Do you know what I mean? I think it's funny. What I do is funny. And I did that event last night, hosting the big awards like that is so great. They're just such good sports. And I think they like to have a laugh at themselves. It's all very serious. Yeah. Everyone's very perfect and cut well and everything. So I think it's quite a relief just to laugh, just to stop and go, oh, yeah, that's right. It's not that serious.
That's a good point. I'm sure it gets exhausting to take yourself seriously all the time.
They look tired. Like it's like they would be, because you're always on. Having to always be on is hard. Yeah. So it's nice just to kind of have a minute, I reckon.
Yeah. And now you're obviously besties with Tom Ford.
Best friends forever. Yeah.
He likes to dress
He does.
And his gorgeous fashions.
I know. I wake up to emails from him every morning, just love letters, really, sonnets, some may say.
He stayed up late composing to you.
Always does, yeah. It's a real love affair.
Yeah. People have this misconception that you dislike the fashion world or that you're criticizing the fashion world, but there's this story from your memoir that I love where you're going through old issues of InStyle magazine and like making your little book of like your highlights from InStyle. Yeah. So you've always kind of loved fashion.
I love fashion. I absolutely love fashion. And the photos that I take are the photos that I parody, like you say, they're lifestyle ones. They're what's kind of sold as an attainable lifestyle, but it's not at all. And it's just funny. It's not a slight on the person. It's more of a look at the industry. Right. But no, fashion's excellent. Yeah. I've always loved it.
So Challenge Accepted is not just jokes.
No.
You really go deep.
Yeah, I know. I'm multifaceted lady.
Who knew?
I've got lots to talk about. Yeah, I've had a bit of a life.
Yeah. So I think there are some fans who are going to come to Challenge Accepted not necessarily realizing that. And not that you haven't had a life, but they're going to come to it expecting just, jokes. Yeah. And then they're going to get this much richer experience.
Hopefully that's how they look at it.
Well, that's how I look at it, definitely. Yeah, right. I love Challenge Accepted, and I love that there's some real nuggets of truth and life in there. Yeah. What was your creative choice to go there? What made you make that choice?
I don't know. This is going to sound weird. I don't know how much of a choice it was. I felt that when I started writing it, I just kept writing, and the stories and it reminded me of my life, which is like with the heart surgery. And as I was writing it, I was like, oh, that's right. That's really full on. So it wasn't a massive creative choice to choose to write about my heart surgery or my friends passing away. Right. It just came. I had to. And I talk about that in the book with Jo. I was like, I can't. It's too soon. I cannot talk about her in full, but I cannot write a book without acknowledging her. Yeah. So it's that floodgates kind of opened, and then
so body shaming is
and it's everywhere.
It is.
And it is a multi-billion-dollar business, and I'm furious at it. Yeah. Sorry, you can keep going now.
You really set it up. Yeah. By the way, I laughed hysterically over the BOPO section for our
Beat
listeners.
Off, pass out. Yeah. I know.
For our listeners who haven't heard yet, what did you find when you went into Urban Dictionary?
When I went onto Urban Dictionary and put in BOPO, it came up beat off, pass out. And I was like, I need to stop telling people that I am the new face of BOPO.
So tell us what BOPO really means.
Body positive.
Yeah.
But it's the body positive movement.
Right.
Yeah.
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 So what has being part of that movement felt like to you?
That is, I've been caught up in that by default. I never really set out to be a part of that BOPO movement. I've always supported it and loved it. But it wasn't a goal of mine because I genuinely don't think I look that bad. I think I look different.
You're gorgeous.
Thank you. I look different to the people that I parody, but I don't think one is better or worse than the other. It's just funny. So then when it all started happening, everyone's like, wow, I love how body positive you are. Yeah, you make us, bigger ladies feel good. And I'm like, oh, yeah, okay, cool, that's the thing. So, of course, I'm so happy to be caught up in that, but it wasn't ever an intention because how I look is the least interesting part about me, and I think I look okay. So you can only imagine how great the rest is then. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
And it's new to me.
Yeah.
That I've never ever gotten where I am on how I look, ever. So now that it's being looked at a lot, how I look, I'm like, oh, that's right. Oh, people care about this sort of stuff. That's right. Yeah. So,
does it ever just feel so weird that that's part of your life now?
No, it doesn't because I'm still really focused on what I want to do and who I am and how I do it. And my intention is always to make people laugh. And so like that being a byproduct of it is great, but it's not anything where I go, oh, I need to maybe do that or look worse or look better. That's never really a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have gotten some really interesting comments about, make sure you don't lose too much weight.
Yeah.
Don't get too pretty. You'll alienate your fans.
Yeah.
That's also kind of up.
It's really weird, that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
When they're like, and I'm getting a lot of that lately as well. I think because as my profile grows as well, people are saying, oh no, you're looking better than the models now. It's not funny anymore. I'm like, dudes, you have missed the point. Come on, let's get back to it. And what else is interesting is people will say they will get into the model. They'll start whoever I'm parodying. They'll be like, oh, she's a skinny or something. And I'm like, no. It's not one against the other.
Right.
But then people get really annoyed that I don't engage in those conversations. And I'm like, no, I've started the conversation. You guys can go and have it, but I'm not entering into that.
So let's talk a little bit about social media and just staying resilient and healthy on social media. I love the story in Challenge Accepted where you first blow up and you're sitting around like having a drinking game about like how many tens of thousands of followers do I have now?
Yeah.
Does that ever become overwhelming? Do you ever feel pressure about, I have to keep up with?
I do.
Yeah.
I feel pressure sometimes to post because I know I need to keep onto it to keep the audience.
Yeah.
However, I'm slowing that down now because I want to work. I want to be doing my show. I want to be writing my book. I want to have my own show, all that. And that's starting to happen.
Yeah.
So I don't need to stress so much about that. But the reason I am onto that as well is because out of sight, out of mind, especially here in America, it's crazy. So I post as much as I kind of can, and it's kind of like touring a show. Just it's just my craft. It's what I do. So it's kind of a business decision to do that as well, to stay in people's minds.
Yeah.
So that's definitely something that I think about.
And it sounds like it's also key to you to know what your boundaries are for engaging with the...
Oh, yeah, definitely. It's a show. It's a show for me. I go out, I do my thing, I do my show, I come off stage, I go home, I go to bed.
Yeah.
Sometimes I read the reviews, sometimes I don't.
Yeah.
And that's exactly how I do it with Instagram. Put it out there for you guys.
Yeah.
Enjoy. It's a show.
Yeah. And then you guys sort it out.
And every now and then I'll read a review and then other times I won't.
Yeah.
So
I was describing your memoir to some of the lovely people I work with, and I started telling them about the Mean Girls in grade 8.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I swear, just me telling it to my coworkers, like she teared up because it's a really. I'm just so mad at those girls.
Yeah, it was a bit. It was a bit of a time, but again, it's something that I remembered as I wrote the book.
Yeah.
I always kind of remember that wasn't a great time, but specifically as I was writing, I was like, oh, that's really up.
That's so up. So for
That's-
those who haven't listened to your memoir yet, can you describe a little bit what happened?
Yeah, well, there were two girls, and then there was another girl separately who wanted to physically hurt me, like hit me. But I remember these two girls, they're just manipulative, and they managed to get the entire grade to not speak to me for the entire year. It was, and I remember being quite shocked by it, going, wow, that's powerful.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know if they went home and just figured out how to do it, but and it just happened. They're just two mean girls that just were like, no, we don't like it. I mean,
And
I'm
then-
a lot as well, and so that was that. They just,
Yeah.
no one spoke to me for the whole year.
People who had been your friends already and
Oh, yeah,
people who were
over,
like the
yeah.
sweetest people in the school suddenly were just like,
We can't.
yeah.
But they weren't even like, oh no, we can't do it.
Yeah.
They were just, no,
Wow.
just froze me out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
So
weird.
you're like obviously very resilient about it because that's devastating to anyone at that age.
I'm very careful to call it bullying because I think that word gets thrown around
Yeah.
a lot.
Yeah.
And sometimes people are just
Yeah.
and kids tease.
Yeah.
And that's not bullying. It's
Yeah.
not okay.
Yeah.
But it's not bullying.
Right.
And I talk about that in the book. And
Yeah.
then you have people like Ruby Rose
Yeah.
being like bullied,
Right.
like terrifyingly so.
Right.
And so that's why I just think they were really mean. And it was hard, but I just got focused. I
Right.
just kind of went and did my thing then.
Right.
Yeah.
When I love what you said about how it wasn't even about showing them that you didn't care. You just
Did it for
truly
me.
got to a point where you didn't care.
Yeah, because there's so much talk with bullying about you need to show the bully this and the bully needs to learn. And I'm like, them for a minute. What do I need in this?
Right.
Because I'm not doing this for you.
Right.
You're obviously bullying me
Yeah.
for your sake. So
Yeah.
I'm going to sort myself out for
Right.
my sake.
Right.
Yeah.
So I want to go back even a little farther into school. At least I think it happened earlier. There was another story that just struck me.
Yeah.
Like to my core. Your science teacher, who was this before or after your ADD diagnosis?
Before.
Okay. But you were in school, you had ADD, you didn't know you had ADD.
Yeah, it was before. Sorry, I'm just
Okay.
trying to piece that together in my head. Yeah.
And this teacher, tell us what
So we'd all line up for class.
Yeah.
And then when we would, file in and she'd look, but this teacher just would put her hand up in front of me.
yeah.
And as I say in the book, I thought she was wanting a high five or something. She didn't.
Yeah.
And she just said to me, let's not worry about it today.
Yeah.
We don't need the distraction, and just locked me out of the class.
Wow.
That sounds fair. I don't think she locked the door, but she closed the door behind her and that was it. And I was like, oh, I hated science, so
Yeah.
I was actually okay with it.
Right.
But I was a distraction, so
Right.
she just cut me off.
So I want to talk to you a little bit more about ADD, and I have to tell you it really resonated with me because I also have ADD.
Yay!
And I love talking to other women who do because I just feel like we're suddenly on the same, like we're buzzing at the same frequency.
Yeah.
It's so wonderful.
Yeah, it's great.
But so I was so mad at that science teacher because of that. And, we hear a lot about people are just starting to understand girls with ADHD. I wonder if you could speak to a girl now who's just found out that she has ADHD, or maybe she doesn't know she has ADHD yet. Do you have any advice that you would give her?
That it's okay
Yeah.
and it's kind of fun.
Yeah.
It's kind of fun to be different and kind of be loud.
Yeah.
And your boundaries are wider, I find, than not. And there's medication, so go on that. It helps
Right.
as well.
Right.
It's not
Yeah.
the end of the world.
Yeah.
My friend said to me that she thinks her son, who's I think 7, has it. And I just went, yes! I was so excited
Right.
because it's all right.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So moving into even more bananas territory, the story about your emergency open heart surgery at 25 years old. But yeah, it brought tears to my eyes. This story.
Yeah, I had
Yeah.
a heart murmur, but it wasn't ever really diagnosed.
Yeah.
And then I was working out a lot and exercising, and I started
Yeah.
to get like pain in my chest
Yeah.
and down my left arm, and went,
Yeah.
oh, that's not. And I was really short of breath. So yeah, I went to the doctor, and they said, oh, you've got a hole in your heart.
Yeah.
But it was just over 2 centimeters, like
Yeah.
2.5 centimeters, which is massive. That's a massive hole for
Yeah.
your heart.
Yeah.
And they said, we'll just put a stent. It was just meant to be keyhole surgery.
Yeah.
I was filming actually, and they were like, we'll just do it Friday and you can be back on set Monday, no problem, hour and
Yeah.
a half, you'll be home
Yeah.
after it. And then, so they put it in and it didn't take. So they
Yeah.
were like, oh, we'll pull it back out,
Yeah.
wake me up,
Uh-huh.
and we'll figure out something new we can do. But as they pulled it out, it snapped
Yeah.
and it was just stuck in my heart.
Yeah.
And they were like, oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
So then they had to cut me and saw me.
Right.
And,
Yeah.
yeah.
And by the way, I loved your description of the surgery. Like, I was sad for you.
Oh, the stupid
But-
little, what do I call it? The stupid little.
Oh, yeah. I forget exactly what you call it.
Yeah.
But I was like, all right, you keep bringing it back. To
Yeah,
like
I
the,
was furious with it.
right. But no, your description of, and not to get too, we can always cut this if we have to, but your description of them like cutting under your breast and like peeling everything
peeling it up,
back and
yeah.
breaking your ribs and then like
sawing my
tie-
sternum and then
Yeah.
wire back through. Yeah,
I don't
really
think
intense.
people really talk about open heart surgery that way.
No,
It
well,
really
it's-
made it real.
It's really fucking real.
Yeah.
It was one of the most intense experiences.
Yeah.
The recovery was, oh my God.
yeah.
Well, they literally pull at your heartstrings.
Yeah.
So yeah, depression
Yeah.
kicked in after and
Yeah.
all of it. Yeah.
So I can't imagine going through an experience like that. And then I was so mad at the nurse that yanked the tubes out. Oh, I'm even so sorry to bring it up right
No,
now.
that's
but
okay. That's all right. I talk about it in the book.
Yeah.
Yeah, that up like that. That was really, really intense, and still
Yeah.
to this day,
Yeah.
I think about that.
How do you go through an experience like that and not be traumatized afterwards?
I think I was a little.
Yeah.
I definitely think in the
Yeah.
recovery after.
Yeah.
You know, you don't lie down for 3 months,
Yeah.
and that in itself, not being able to sleep,
Mm-hmm.
it makes everything worse.
Yeah.
Everything. So it was a really rough time.
Yeah.
After that, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
You said something beautiful in the book about how it wasn't until you were sitting down writing about it. The act of writing it kind of helped you kind of heal.
Absolutely.
Talk to me a little bit about that.
Because as I was writing it, I realized how much I had gone through.
Mm-hmm.
When I'm in it, and I think like anyone, when you're in something, it just becomes your reality.
Yeah.
That stuff at school, everyone's like, how'd you get through that? When you're in it, it's different than watching it happen, I think.
Yeah.
So it just becomes my reality. It's what I deal with. You just get on with it. And with the heart surgery, when I was in it, I was living it. So
Mm-hmm.
you just have to get in. You have to get on with it. I guess you kick into survival mode.
Yeah.
Literally after
Right.
emergency open heart surgery.
Right.
But then reflecting on it and writing about it, I'm like, that was massive.
Yeah.
You were not treated well. You were not looked after.
Yeah.
That's a big thing to go through for a 25-year-old.
Yeah.
And it was a really tough time. And I only really kind of realized that reflecting back and writing
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah.
Mm.
And then what was it like to go into the recording studio and then speak those memories out loud?
That was tough. Really tougher than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
For sure.
Were there any moments of reading your story out loud that surprised you by how tough they were?
I knew that reading the tube part was going to be really hard.
Yeah.
And it was. And thinking about it now is actually quite hard.
Yeah.
And also the recovery, the coming out of the anaesthetic.
Yeah.
That was really hard to talk about because it was the darkest moment in my life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
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 It's a lot.
Yeah. Do you think that now that you've read it, you've committed it to recording, do you think that in a way is part of the healing process too?
Absolutely. It's like therapy.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's a real cathartic experience for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Doing that. Yeah, I feel like I've got a little bit of closure on it.
Yeah. So we haven't talked about Hot Husband yet.
He's so hot.
He's so hot.
Oh my God, you should have seen him last night at this event.
He came with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's the best.
Yeah.
He was so hot. I kept looking at him, and I'm surrounded by supermodels, and I just kept looking at him. The supermodels were like, "Can I get a photo with hot husband?" I said, "You can sit down. That's what you can do." No, get over there. It was awesome.
I love the moment in your book where you talk about staring at him at night, not because you just want to stare at him for being beautiful, although he is.
Because I
very
want to see
hot.
if he's going to up.
Yeah, and he never does.
Really annoying. And he sleeps all the time, and I'm not a sleeper, so most of our time is spent at me staring at him asleep, going, "You suck."
So the moments where you talk about what it's like to be married to such a hot man, like there's some interesting dynamics going on there too.
Yeah.
What are some of the things people have said to you?
Well, it's fun. It's obvious reverse sexism, and I'm doing it as a joke. And like I do sometimes get that in comments where people are like, "Oh, imagine if he said that about you, you wouldn't be okay." I was like, "You've missed the joke." I mean, he's spectacular as a human being, and he happens to be hot. So I just exploit that because it's funny, and he's retired now because of it, so he's fine. Yeah. But I get people saying to me a lot, you know, "Wow, congratulations on being with someone so hot." And also in the street now, people say to me, "I didn't recognize you because you look like everyone else, but I saw a hot husband." And so they will see him and go, "Where is she?" And then look for me because I blend in. Yeah. But he's so amazing. Yeah. And people are like, "Oh, that's a compliment." I'm like, "Don't know if it is." Don't know if that is a compliment, but all right. Yeah.
So how does he feel about being a hot husband?
Loves it. He's just the most supportive and wonderful.
Yeah.
It's a character.
Yeah.
And but that he let me create. He's just kind of keeps doing what he's doing, which is hot. And I just document it. Yeah. People like it. No, he's a really good sport.
And he takes a lot of your photos for you. Like you tell him what to do, hold the camera, and then he...
Yeah, well, I used to tell him what to do. Now he thinks he's creative director of Celeste Barber Proprietary Limited. And he's like, "No, the lighting." I'm like, "Don't take the photo, woman." Yeah. So, I get into him a bit.
Yeah. Well, I have not met hot husbands.
Oh, he's at home in bed now because he had a big night with Gaga.
Oh, that's right.
So,
you know.
He's living the dream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I love the story of how you two met. Yeah. And we're not going to tell it here because you'll have to listen to the book.
You've got to listen to the book to hear about it. Yeah. And to hear his real name. Yeah. It's not Hot Husband.
It's not?
No. It's not Hot Husband. He has a real name. Yeah. You got to listen to the book.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, good luck.
Thanks, darling.
With the release, and thank you for talking to me. This has been so lovely.
You're very kind. Thank you so much. Big love.